Picture this, a crisp fall day, the kind where the air is fresh and the leaves crunch underfoot. I'm just a kid, out for a walk with my family at our local metro park. We decided to try a new trail, a path less traveled, brimming with the promises of new adventure. As I rush ahead, curiosity fueling my steps, the trail comes to an abrupt end. It's closed off, but something catches my eye through the thinning trees. A flash of rusted yellow metal, and there, amidst the serene greenery and the babbling streams of the park, stands a roller coaster, its frame stark against the natural backdrop. I am absolutely confused. My mind is buzzing with questions: how, why, where, when, and I squint trying to make sense of it. The image of the coaster is imprinted on my curious mind. I call out,
What is that?
but my voice is swallowed by the distance as my family, retracing their steps, since the trail has clearly ended, doesn't hear me. I hurry to catch up, my head swirling with thoughts. As we walk back, my imagination takes flight. It is like an episode of Scooby-Doo, a mystery just waiting to be unraveled, and when I later ask about it, no one seems to have any idea what I'm talking about. That image of the roller coaster shrouded in the park's natural beauty stays with me. It's like a daydream, a puzzle piece from my childhood that's still waiting to fit into the bigger picture.
Bygone Echoes.
Hey there, fellow history enthusiasts, and welcome to Bygone Echoes, a history podcast. Today, we are time traveling to the heyday of America's trolley parks, those magical spots where fun and transportation magically merged. In the late 1800s to early 1900s, these places were the heart and souls of communities, thanks in part to the 1893 World Chicago Fair, which we talked about in the last episode. These parks were more than just fun zones. They were emblems of innovation, communal spirit, and pure American joy. Take Idora Park in Ohio, for example. What was once a hub of happiness is now a forgotten relic. Starting as a simple picnic spot, Idora grew into an enchanting realm filled with thrilling rides, dance halls, crafting memories that were meant to last forever. But time can be unkind, and today, Idora's glory is just a whisper of the past. My own encounter with Idora Park was through its eerie quiet, not the lively bustle it once knew. Discovering its ghostly remains sparked a blend of curiosity. There was some misremembering and a longing for a bygone era. The decaying park, now reclaimed by nature, seems to murmur stories, blurring the lines between fantasy and reality. So come along as we delve into the rise and fall of trolley parks like Idora, weaving through the tales I imagined and the truths I unearthed. Let's wander through life and the quiet afterlife of these once jubilant places, where now only memories linger. Let's step back to the Industrial Revolution, a time of dramatic urban transformation. Smokestacks defined city skylines, while environmental concerns were barely an afterthought. People flocked from the unpredictable rhythm of the countryside farms to the city's bustling factories, drawn by the allure of a stable but demanding urban life. This urban migration sparked a novel concept: leisure time. Weekends transformed from mere days off to cherished moments of personal freedom, which were essential for well-being. City dwellers, however, had limited leisure opportunities, often confined to local town squares, nature spots, or small community gatherings. Travel and large-scale entertainment were luxuries that few could afford. A significant change arrived with the electric trolley in 1888. More than just a new mode of transportation, it revolutionized city life. Trolleys connected diverse neighborhoods and made distant suburbs accessible, reshaping how people interacted with the cities and their leisure time. This era birthed the trolley park, charming precursors to modern-day amusement parks. Nestled at the end of trolley lines, these parks emerged as popular escapes, offering a blend of fun and freedom. The start of trolleys and trolley parks marked not just a transportation evolution, but a pivotal shift in social dynamics, setting the stage for the public transportation system and the urban leisure culture we know today. Imagine a bright early summer morning, you're riding the trolley, its bells chime still echoing as you disembark at the trolley park, which is buzzing with a unique enchantment. The air is electric with excitement, mingled with the sweet aromas of popcorn and cotton candy. These parks were vibrant mosaics of life and laughter. Picture lush picnic spots alive with the joyous noise of families and friends. There's music in the air, live bands setting the tempo, and their tunes painting this scene of social gaiety. And oh, the dance halls. They're a swirl of colors and sounds with laughter reverberating, the rhythm of catchy melodies. But the rides? Those were the real showstoppers. Roller coasters like dragons from fairy tales, twisting and turning into thrilling dances. Carousels adorned with ornate horses spun a vibrant whirl, their calliopes playing heart-stirring tunes. These trolley parks were more than playgrounds. They were festivals for the senses, rich tapestries of experiences, and they reflected the era's bright-eyed optimism, a slice of America's burgeoning romance with leisure and innovation. Here, communities bonded, interlaced by the shared joy and wonder, crafting a beautiful collage of collective memories. Let's take a step into the late 1890s in Youngstown, Ohio, a bustling hub of industry and innovation. This era, transitioning from the Gilded Age's opulence to the Progressive Era's social reforms, reshaped America. The impacts of these reforms in enhancing working conditions, civil rights, and creating a more equitable society still resonate in American policy and politics today. Youngstown was more than just a city. It was the cornerstone in America's steel story. Its prime location, blessed with railroads and the Mahoning River, positioned it as a steel-producing titan. From the 1800s to the 1970s, Youngstown Steel was integral to the growth of U.S. cities, supporting everything from construction to the automotive industry. The city's steel boom nurtured a rich culture and social tapestry, thanks to its diverse communities, Eastern European, Italians, African Americans, and more. Youngstown thrived with social clubs, churches, and cultural festivals, a vibrant testament to the community's spirit. Amidst this industrial growth, Youngstown recognized the importance of green spaces, and thus Mill Creek Park was created, a natural oasis with cascading waters and lush landscapes. In its heart stands the historic Lanternman Mill, dating back to 1845, which still operates in the summers and produces flour for baking. This park, a backdrop to my childhood memories and local lore, even boasts landscaping by the exact firm that worked on the Columbian Exposition Fairgrounds, which I thought was super amazing. During this time, the Park and Falls Street Railway Company emerged, connecting the city with its transportation services. Spotting an opportunity on the city's south side, they, like many other trolley companies during the era, developed a leisure destination to boost ridership, and this led to the birth of Terminal Park. Strategically located near Mill Creek Park, Terminal Park was an escape from the industrial smog, situated about 3.5 miles from Youngstown Central Square. This distance encouraged people to take the convenient trolley, costing only a nickel, to the park, where admission was free, a clever strategy to attract visitors and enhance city life. This amusement destination started as a modest 7-acre wonder and grew to an enchanting 28 acres. Snug next to Mill Creek Park on the city's edge, it was a captivating story, but it had limited space to expand. Architecturally, the park was a mixtape of styles: colonial revival, chatting with sleek modern, and elegant Italianate. In its opening season, it was a treasure trove. It had a bustling casino, a vibrant theater, a bandstand with music, sky-touching swings, and all the essentials like water fountains and restrooms. And the star attraction? A whimsical merry-go-round, boasting Gustave Denzel's beautifully carved animals. The park soon added a midway, sprinkling even more fun with games and snack stands. Opening on Decoration Day, now known as Memorial Day, May 30th, 1899, Terminal Park, as it was first known, was an instant crowd pleaser. By its second season, it transformed into Idora Park, but the local name's origin? That's actually a pretty charming puzzle. Some say a local teacher named it in a contest she won. Others think it's a playful twist on I adore a park. And there's even hints at a connection to the so-called Idora Falls in Mill Creek Park. But really, the true story is lost in a delightful fog of myths. Name aside, Idora Park became synonymous with joy, a vibrant chapter in Youngstown's community story. More than a park, it was a symbol, a collective memory, a resonance of laughter and joy echoing through time and change. Can you imagine how a visit to Idora Park might have felt during its golden age? Idora Park was dubbed Youngstown's $1 Million Park, and it was a melting pot of joy, attracting people from all walks of life with its affordable fun, especially during tough times of the Great Depression and World War II. Rapidly evolving under changing management, Idora was abuzz with fresh attractions. It featured a grand dance pavilion, a lively vaudeville theater packed with burlesque, comedy, and sing-song acts, and a bandstand perfect for lazy afternoons. Visitors were treated to high swings, peaceful picnics in shady spots, and an array of refreshment stands. Among these, the famous irresistible French fries became a signature scent of the Idora experience, adding to its unique charm. At the southwestern end of Idora Park stood the ballroom, a centerpiece in the park's symphony of growth. Beginning as a modest dance hall, it transformed into the majestic Idora Ballroom by 1910. Blending Moorish, Italianate, and neoclassical designs, this ballroom boasted a sprawling 30,000 square foot dance floor, rivaling even Coney Island's famous dance pavilion. For a period, the ballroom also transformed into the Idora Roller Skating Palace. The ballroom's walls resonated with a diverse array of talents. Legendary musicians like John Philip Sousa and Cab Calloway, and political figures such as JFK and Richard Nixon all graced its stage. A standout moment was in 1919 when Eamon de Valera, a key figure in Ireland's fight for independence, captivated audiences with his fervent call for reform. Music was the heartbeat of Idora, shifting from Sousa's 1918 anthems to the big band era with stars like Dorsey Brothers and Benny Goodman. As rock and roll surged in the 50s and 60s, Idora smoothly transitioned, hosting modern legends like the Eagles, the Monkees, and yet still holding onto the charms of polka bands. Reflecting Idora's adaptability, in the 1950s, it saw the ballroom undergo a makeover, shedding its Moorish elements for a more contemporary look, a testament to the park's enduring spirit of evolution. North of the ballroom lay Idora Park's buzzing midway, home to a plethora of rides and attractions like the Ferris wheel, fun houses, bumper cars, and arcade games. The north end of the midway housed attractions like Monkey Island, which was an exhibit of various monkey species in a naturalistic setting that offered a blend of entertainment and education for park visitors. But let's zoom in on the roller coasters, the heart of the thrill here at Idora. It all started in 1902 with the Figure 8 toboggan slide, which was later replaced by the Firefly roller coaster in the 1920s, and eventually by the legendary Wildcat. The Wildcat, debuting in 1930, was a yellow, 85-foot-high, 3,000-foot-long wooden roller coaster famed for its airtime, intense fan turn, and lateral forces. Its unique feature? No restraints, offering a wildly exhilarating and somewhat dangerous ride. It was still a top 10 roller coaster in the early 1980s, renowned for its large size, innovation, and twisting track. Then there was the Jackrabbit, a gentler yet iconic wooden coaster with a unique Figure 8 design. Built in 1910, it stood at 70 feet tall, 2,000 feet long, offering a 2.5-minute ride. Both coasters were pivotal in the park's charm. For the little ones, there was Kiddieland, filled with fun-filled, child-centered attractions and miniature versions of some of the larger rides. And the Midway's west side stood the merry-go-round, which is my absolute favorite. The original carousel, moved out in 1922, made way for the Idora Park merry-go-round. This classic, antique carousel featured 48 intricately carved and vividly painted horses and 2 chariots. Its craftsmanship and ornate brass poles radiated timeless elegance. It's a rare gem, and it's one of only 87 made by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. In 1924, Idora Park unveiled a luxurious addition, creating waves of excitement. A grand swimming pool, fondly called the Nanatorium. It was a vast, circular pool, its edges graced with sand that was shipped directly from Atlantic City. But the real surprise? The water was salty, thanks to an unexpected salt deposit discovered beneath the park. Advertisements celebrated this as a seashore experience right in Youngstown. Reflecting on Idora Park through different lenses of different eras, we see a vivid contrast in experiences. First-hand accounts of white residents in the late 80s and early 90s recalled an inclusive haven, while Black community members share memories tinged with racial discrimination. This striking contrast underscores the importance of embracing diverse narratives to fully comprehend our history. In 1948, Idora Park removed its pool to expand Kiddieland, igniting a debate. Given national calls for racial integration in swimming pools, it prompted the question: was this an attempt to evade pool integration, or was it just the response to a local need? Adding rich layers to the story are the personal accounts. One from Joseph, who worked at Idora Park as a teenager starting in 1936, details his journey through military service, family life, trade work, and reflects on resilience and adaptability. There's also a first-hand account of Melissa, whose story was taken in 1936. She was a woman in her 80s living in Youngstown who was actually born into slavery. She offers insights into her life, born on a Georgia plantation, her post-emancipation struggles, and the move north for family and freedom. These narratives, set against a backdrop of racial inequality and societal change, are powerful reminders of the diverse and resilient human spirit that shaped these times. However, alongside the triumphs of personal journeys, tragedies were also an integral part of Idora's story. In 1929, a high school senior tragically lost his life on the Jackrabbit coaster. The summer of 1944 was marred by several drowning incidents. In 1948, a 20-year-old man fatally fell from the Wildcat, and in 1963, a 16-year-old boy met a tragic end on the Jackrabbit. These somber events serve as a sobering reminder of the fragility of life, even amidst the most vibrant amusements and personal resilience. Adding to Idora's unusual history, in 1947, the monkeys escaped. That's right, the monkeys from Monkey Island escaped. Some were euthanized for safety reasons, while others vanished into Mill Creek Park. And I have never read that they actually collected all the monkeys, which was interesting to me because I remember as a child playing at the park and my cousins warning me that there were monkeys, so be careful because they might snatch you away into a tree. And I never really understood why they would even say that to me until I started researching Idora. Joseph, who we mentioned earlier, actually worked at Idora Park at the time, recalling,
"There were a lot of changes they did, a lot of changes. You could make a list for an hour long, different things that they changed around. Moved the Monkey Island, moved the Little Kitty Coaster. They had a smaller version of Monkey Island and moved it over by the Kitty Land. Then they tore it down. The monkeys kept getting out. They were afraid they were going to cause some trouble, so they just did away with it."
Idora Park's story, once vibrant, turned into a somber chapter as it faced its inevitable decline and closure. Despite evolving with the times, it couldn't withstand changing entertainment preferences, the allure of modern attractions, and Youngstown's economic struggles. Youngstown was closely tied to the steel industry, and when that industry collapsed, it brought job losses, population decline, urban decay, and this all impacted Idora deeply. The park, once thriving on company picnics and community events, struggled as its core working-class audience diminished, and larger amusement parks like Cedar Point and Kings Island drew crowds away. As the park's clientele shifted more towards youngsters and teenagers, rock concerts replaced big bands in the ballroom. Financial struggles led to sales attempts in the early 1980s. In 1984, a catastrophic fire ravaged Idora, including the iconic Wildcat coaster, marking the tragic end of the park. Idora closed in September 1984, and its remains were auctioned off. The park was further diminished by subsequent fires, and the remaining structures were demolished in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, no real attempts were successful in preserving this icon. The loss of Idora Park left a profound void in Youngstown. It was more than just a place to the community. It was part of the city's soul. It was a backdrop of generations of memories. The park had remained open for around 80 years, and its absence was mourned like the loss of a friend, leaving a legacy of joy, community spirit, and bittersweet nostalgia. In the 1920s, Idora Park, along with other streetcar parks, reached their peak. From about 2,000 amusement parks in 1920, the number dwindled to just 303 by 1935, largely due to the rise of automobiles. Today, only 12 such parks remain. Idora Park, however, outlasted many of its peers by adapting to changes like the popularity of cars and movies, and its survival was thanks to the innovative attractions and the steel industry's frequent company events. Although it's no longer open, Idora Park continues to hold a special place in Youngstown's heart. It's remembered not just as a historical site, but as a symbol of community, joy, and collective memories. It was a place where many shared unforgettable experiences. Local efforts to preserve Idora Park's legacy are evident, with memorabilia on display in the Idora Park Experience Museum. The park's famous carousel was purchased in the 1984 auction and was lovingly restored by artist Jane Walenta, and over 100 years later, it now brings joy to visitors to Brooklyn, New York. My childhood memory of seeing the skeleton of a roller coaster while on a family walk sparked my journey to unravel the mysteries of Idora Park, its historical significance, and its place in our society. It's turned out to be a treasure trove of stories waiting to be discovered, and for me, that's the true treasure of this adventure. Thanks so much for tuning in and taking a ride through history with us. While uncovering Idora Park's history, we find its essence not just in the thrilling rides or dancehall music, but in the joy and the connections it created, symbolizing the beauty of community and simple pleasures. Yet, embracing both its highlights and its shadows reveal its true complexity. It was a mix of inclusivity and exclusivity, which I'm having trouble saying, but it offers a nuanced view of history, reminding us to appreciate the good while learning from the challenges. And speaking of intriguing tales, get ready for a spine-tickling journey on the next episode of Bygone Echoes, where we are listening for the whispers in the dark, exploring the mystery of the servant girl annihilator. It's a story, a true story, shrouded in mystery and darkness, just waiting to be unraveled. So, stay tuned for another captivating episode where history's echoes come alive.
Interested in learning more? We recommend Hidden History of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley by Sean T. Posey, Images of America, Youngstown by Donna de Blasio, Images of America, Lost Idora Park by James and Tony Amney, the Youngstown State University Oral History Program, and visit our website at bygoneechoesblog.wordpress.com for more resources.